we're very comfortable if he cooperates that there's nothing he can cooperate about with regard to President Trump. I am absolutely certain of that from everything I know about that investigation.
That's Rudy Giuliani, the new fixer, talking about the old fixer, Michael Cohen, who all sorts of rumors swirling around with him to figure out and to help us read the tea leaves is ABC News crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett. Brad, good morning.
Good morning, McGraw.
What do we know and what do we think about what we know?
Okay, let's go back for 5 seconds to April. For the FBI to go into Cohen's law office, they would have had to have an overwhelming amount of evidence about criminal activity in reference to Mr. Cohen. So start with that. And then they go and seize documents. My guess that's probably enhanced their case. Now, again, keep in mind, this is the prosecutors in the Southern District of New York, not the special counsel and Bob Mueller.
Right.
Because the case was handed off to them because of Cohen's alleged illegal behavior in business dealings, tax fraud, sort of fill in the blank. And my guess is that's the primary focus of what's going on in New York. Now, mixed in with that, is there Russians? Are there Russians and Trump associates? My guess is maybe, probably, but the answer is a bit so what unless it actually, goes to criminal behavior, or more importantly, does it have some link to the election and or the president?
What do we think about the news that he's changing attorneys this late in the game?
Well, McGraw, people today at his level hire attorneys to do specific things. He has attorneys that are looking at the evidence as far as the attorney-client privilege issue is concerned. If he's going forward, and those lawyers, I'm going to guess, will be quite expensive, he then needs to find a lawyer that's really an expert at deal making, because there are such lawyers. Many of them were prosecutors. They know the system, they know the judges, etc. So that could be another possibility in changing attorneys.
Yeah. When they went and raided his office, and this is kind of confusing, a lot of people think that, wait a minute, you can't raid my office. I have attorney-client privilege. But that only goes so far.
It only goes so far in that just because you have conversations with a lawyer doesn't mean it's privileged. If he's offering legal counsel, legal advice, that's probably privileged. If he's a deal maker for you, or you're having him pay people off for whatever, probably none of that, McGraw, is privileged. My sense, without knowing it, is that a big chunk of what they seized in April is not privileged. And I think that, obviously that doesn't bode well potentially for Mr. Cohen. So we'll have to see. But, I've never got the sense, McGraw, that he's sort of the traditional representing the client. He's basically a wheeler dealer, which falls into the category of you and I being wheeler dealers.
Right.
It wouldn't be privileged.
Yeah.
So,
the Friday is a very important day, right? That's when all the documents have to be looked at.
Correct. And so you have it with a taint team, basically, with a special master that was assigned by the judge, who's a former judge herself. She and a team looked at the documents. I'm sure they're done. Cohen's lawyers apparently have looked for the documents. I don't think the judge is giving anybody any continuances. So if there are no objections filed tomorrow, then whatever the government or the special master found saying the following X documents are not privileged,
right,
then that potentially makes them fair game for the prosecutors to use.
Last question for you, Brad Garrett, and that is, when will we know? And does anything in reading the tea leaves point to Michael Cohen turning state's evidence and working with the prosecution?
McGraw, I don't think he has any choice. I mean, again, it would seem like they have a lot of evidence. So you could get less charges, less time, less forfeitures, less fines to cooperate, or then just take it all and then get a huge sentence, have big forfeitures, which could directly financially affect his family. So, I mean, he's in a tight spot. But you got to cut your losses.
Brad Garrett, ABC News crime and terrorism analyst, also our FBI G-man, go-to guy. Thanks, Brad. Have a good day.